Hare Krishna. So we continue on page 198, paragraph 2. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Page 198, paragraph 2, we continue. Rama took up a sword, bow and 2 quivers, whereupon Maricha suddenly vanished from sight. As Rama entered the forest, the deer once again came into view, then ran away swiftly while frequently looking backwards. Again, the deer came close to Rama, as if tempting him to capture it. As Rama rushed towards the deer, however, it disappeared from sight. In this way, Maricha lured Rama far away from his cottage. Confused by the deer's puzzling movements, Rama felt helpless and frustrated. Finally, feeling exhausted from the chase, Rama rested for a while beneath a tree. Then once again, the deer suddenly appeared close by. However, just when Rama rose up to capture it, the deer mysteriously vanished. Out of frustration, Rama gave up the idea of trying to capture the deer alive. Amazing, Rama getting frustrated. Thus, when it next appeared at some distance, Rama pulled out a blazing arrow of Lord Brahma and released it to kill the deer. Maricha jumped high, trying to avoid Rama's arrow, but it pierced his heart nonetheless. As Maricha fell to the ground, mortally wounded, he assumed his real form as a Rakshasa. Then, remembering Ravana's instructions, Maricha imitated Ram's voice and called out in great distress, "Oh Sita! Oh Lakshmana!" Maricha then gave up his life, and upon hearing this call, Rama became dejected, wondering, what will Sita and Lakshmana think? A terrible fear entered Rama's heart as he rushed back to his cottage. Meanwhile, when Sita heard the voice of Maricha, she thought that Rama was crying for help. In panic, she turned to Lakshmana, urging, "Go quickly to Rama and find out what happened." That was Rama crying out for help. "He needs you. Oh Lakshmana, my heart is throbbing and I can hardly breathe. I think the Rakshasa must have overwhelmed Rama." With Rama's order to guard Sita firmly in mind, Lakshmana did not move away. His seeming indifference upset Sita even more, impelling her to chastise Lakshmana with harsh words. "Why do you just stand here? Do you want Rama to die? It has now become evident that you are merely the enemy of your elder brother in the guise of a friend. I think you wish Rama to die so he can enjoy me as you like. Otherwise, you should surely rush to his rescue. Go quickly, Lakshmana. What is the use of me remaining alive and safe while my husband is in danger?" As Sita sobbed and trembled with fear, Lakshmana replied, "Try to control yourself. Rest assured, no one can ever harm Rama. Neither the Rakshasas, nor Indra, nor all the demigods can harm him. I'm convinced. The voice you heard was the conjuring trick of Maricha made to frighten us. Rama has ordered me to protect you. Therefore, I must stay here and obey him." Sita was now almost deranged with anxiety, and Lakshmana's words only aroused her anger more. Her eyes red with rage, Sita raved, "You shameless and wicked man! I think you're enjoying Rama's misfortune. Otherwise, why would you speak so casually? You have only been pretending to be your elder brother's humble servant. The real reason you have accompanied Rama to the forest was to look for an opportunity to kill him and fulfill your lusty desires to enjoy me. Perhaps you are Bharata's agent. In any case, you will never obtain the fulfillment of your sinful desires. Do you really think I would accept you after having been the wife of lotus-eyed Rama? I would rather die. Indeed, without Rama, I could not bear to live for a moment." Sita's words pierced Lakshmana's heart as if they were sharp arrows. With folded hands, the horrified Lakshmana replied, "O Princess of Mithila, you are like a deity to me. Thus, I cannot speak harshly in reply. I know that it is the nature of women to create trouble and discord between friends. Indeed, women are so fickle and hard-hearted that when they become obsessed with some desire, they give up all sense of morality. O daughter of King Janaka, you have goaded me with your sharp words, and so I'll go to Rama as you demand. However, because I see terrible omens foreboding great evil, I fear that when I return with Rama, we will no longer find you here." With great agitation, Sita said, "If Rama is killed, then I shall jump off a cliff, drown myself, or take poison. I would rather die than be touched by another man." Inflamed with rage by Sita's harsh words, Lakshmana was torn between duty and his inner desire to see Rama. Thus, as Sita continued to malign him, Lakshmana reluctantly departed, allowing Ravan his eagerly awaited opportunity. Dressed in saffron cloth, his hair tied in a knot on top of his head, wearing wooden sandals and carrying an umbrella over his right shoulder and a staff and a water pot in his left hand, Ravana came before Sita in the guise of a wandering mendicant. Sitting inside a cottage, Sita was crying, shedding tears of grief in Rama's absence as Ravana appeared at her doorway. Out of fear, the wind ceased blowing, the leaves of the trees in the forest stopped fluttering, and the waters of the Godavari became hushed. While chanting Vedic mantras, Ravana approached Sita. As he stared at her, his heart became pierced by Cupid's arrows. Then, hoping to charm her, Ravana spoke to Sita. "Who are you, O lovely lady, residing all alone within this terrible forest? Are you the goddess of modesty? Hri, the goddess of fame? Kirti, the goddess of mystic powers? Bhuti, or the goddess of love, Rati? Perhaps you are Lakshmi herself, now bereft of your lotus flower. Your smooth white teeth are like a row of jasmine birds, and your dark eyes resemble two bumblebees that hover over your lotus-like face. Your thighs are tapered and graceful, like the trunks of elephants, and your hips are rounded and ample. Your firm, abundant breasts seem to touch each other, and the nipples are pointed and prominent. Beneath them is a waist so slim and that a thumb and index finger can circle it perfectly. No mortal or celestial woman can equal you in beauty, which has ravished my heart like a swelling river that floods its banks. O dark-eyed lady, why do you remain here when you could prosper elsewhere? You should reside in a palace, adorned with the finest dresses and jewels, attended by countless servants. Are you the wife of one of the Rudras, Maruts, or Vasus? Oh, sweet smiling one, choose a worthy husband and leave this jungle that abounds with ferocious animals." Even though addressed so boldly, Sita ordered her guest a proper reception, not wishing to offend a Brahmana. After offering him a seat and water to wash his feet, Sita gave her guest a meal and explained, "Dear sir, my name is Sita, the daughter of the noble-minded King Janaka of Mithila. At the age of 9, I was married to my beloved husband Rama. Later, at the urging of his wife, my father-in-law, King Dasharatha installed her son Bharat as heir apparent, banishing Rama to the forest for 14 years. Please tell me your name and ancestry and why you have come to the Dandakaranya forest." No longer able to control his emotions, Rama excitedly replied, "I am Ravana, the king of the Rakshasas. Even great demigods tremble at the mere mention of my name. O faultless, beautiful one, now that I have seen you, I could never again take delight in my other innumerable consorts. My dear Sita, become my principal queen, and you shall have 5,000 maidservants awaiting your command. Leave this forest and enjoy with me in the beautiful gardens of Lanka. Hearing Ravana, Sita became enraged. She contemptuously replied, I am completely devoted to Rama, who is as steady as a rock, as grave as the ocean, and sheltering like a banyan tree. I am devoted to Rama, who is mighty armed and broad-chested, whose face resembles the full moon, and who is self-controlled and virtuous. Rama is a lion among men, and you, who are like a jackal, want to possess me, a lioness? Would you dare touch the sun or lift up Mount Mandara? Would you pierce your eyes with a needle or carry a blazing fire in your garment? Would you attempt to swim across the ocean with a boulder tied to your neck? Then why do you dare consider running away with Rama's wife? Rama is Garuda, and you are but a crow. Rama is the ocean, and you a small puddle. Rama is nectar, and you are stale gruel. He is sandalwood, and you are mud. He is gold, and you are iron. Rama is a swan, and you are no better than a vulture. You may kidnap me, but as long as Rama lives, you could no more enjoy me than a fly that flounders in ghee. Although speaking boldly, Sita was shaking with fear. Thus, to further intimidate her, Ravana said, Listen, my lovely lady. I am the half-brother of Kuvera, the lord of wealth. After vanquishing him, I took away his Pushpak chariot, and now he hides himself near Mount Kailash. The demigods are all afraid of me, and wherever I go, the sunshine becomes like moonshine, the wind calms itself, and the river stops flowing. Forget Rama, for he is a mere mortal, doomed to soon perish. Come with me and enjoy heavenly delights. I passionately yearn for you. Do not disappoint me. Sita then replied, If you are truly Kuvera's brother, then why do you act with such wicked intentions? The ravisher of Indra's wife may survive, but whoever tries to molest me is doomed. Finally, Ravan lost all patience. In a fit of rage, he revealed his gigantic form as a fierce Rakshasa with 10 heads, 20 arms, and sharp teeth. The king of Rakshasas then declared, If you wish to have a husband who is renowned throughout the 3 worlds, then accept me, serve me, and I shall never displease you. Why are you so fond of Rama, who has been banished to the forest? Ravana then grabbed Sita by the hair with his left hand. As if summoned, Ravana's golden chariot came close by. And placing his right hand upon her thigh, the king of the Rakshasas took the frightened Sita in his arms and ascended into the sky. As they ascended, Sita screamed out, Rama! Rama! Come and save me! Punish this wretched Ravana! In desperation, Sita called out to the trees, the river, birds and animals, begging them to inform Rama that she had been abducted. Just then, Sita saw Jatayu sleeping while perched atop a tree. Sita called out to him, Jatayu, please help me. Please go now and tell Rama that I have been kidnapped by the evil Ravana. Hearing Sita's cries, Jatayu awakened, and seeing how she was being roughly handled by Ravana, he challenged the king of Rakshasas, saying, Oh, Ravana, I am Jatayu, the king of the vultures. How can you dare lay your hands on the wife of another? Beware, for you are carrying a poisonous snake in your arms. I am 60,000 years old and without weapons, and you are young with many weapons. But I will not allow you to carry away Sita. I warn you, give up your evil intentions, or else prepare to be thrown from your chariot like a ripe fruit falling from a tree. Thus challenged, Ravana angrily rushed towards Jatayu. As the fighting began, it appeared that 2 great mountains were striking one another. Ravana threw many weapons at Jatayu, while the giant vulture gouged Ravana with his taloned feet. Although many powerful arrows pierced Jatayu, the sight of Sita crying upon Ravana's chariot enabled him to tolerate the pain. Jatayu warded off the onslaught of arrows with his wings and managed to break Ravana's bow with his feet. Gaining this advantage, Jatayu quickly cut off Ravana's armor, and with his sharp claws he killed the mules yoked to the chariot. He smashed the chariot to pieces while simultaneously decapitating Ravana's driver with his beak. His chariot broke. Ravana fell to the ground while tightly clasping Sita in his arms. As they witnessed this wonderful display of prowess, all the creatures applauded Jatayu's valor. However, Jatayu was old and soon became exhausted. Ravana rose up into the sky holding Sita with one hand and bearing a sword in the another. Condemning Ravana, Jatayu suddenly swooped down upon his back and began pulling at his hair so hard that the Rakshasa king's lips quivered with indignation. Pressing Sita tightly to his left thigh, Ravana struck back at Jatayu with the palm of his hand. Jatayu, however, dodged the blow and then tore off Ravana's 10 left arms with his powerful beak. Ravana's arms, however, were immediately replaced by new arms. Leaving Sita aside, the king of the Rakshasas began beating Jatayu with his fists and feet. The fighting continued for nearly an hour. Finally, in desperation, Ravana took up his sword and cut off Jatayu's wings, feet, and flanks, causing him to fall mortally wounded to the ground. Greatly distressed, Sita rushed to where Jatayu lay, embracing him with tears in her eyes. Ravana, however, quickly grabbed Sita by the hair and carried her far as she cried out in grief, "Rama! Rama!" Sita's cries caused the entire universe to fall out of order. Everything became enveloped in darkness. In empathy with Sita's grief, the wind no longer blew, and the sun lost its luster. Lord Brahma, however, who could perceive the entire incident through divine eyes, declared, "Our purpose is now accomplished." Thereafter, as Ravana rose into the sky, Sita's ornaments broke apart, her jewels falling to the ground. The pearls from her necklace slipped from her breast like the pure water of the Ganga falling from the sky. Overwhelmed with fear and grief, Sita continuously struggled to free herself from Ravana's grip, reproaching him again and again for his vile, cowardly act. As Ravana sped towards Lanka, all creatures appeared to lament, "There is no dharma, there is no truth, there is no gentleness." Her loose hair waving in the wind, her mark of tilaka erased, and her face devoid of cheer, Sita moaned, "O Rama, O Lakshmana." Just then Sita saw 5 monkey chiefs sitting atop a mountain. Unnoticed by Ravana, she took off her silk upper cloth and some jewels and dropped them in the midst of the forest dwellers, hoping they would inform Rama. As the monkeys stared with unblinking eyes, Ravana carried Sita away towards Lanka. Like many other powerful materialists, Ravana risked everything to gain the object of his desire. While carrying Sita across the ocean to his kingdom, he relished the thought of having successfully abducted her, and he eagerly anticipated making her his queen. Blinded by lust, he failed to realize that the object of his desire was actually death personified for him. The goddess of fortune always serves the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and when materialists try to enjoy her, she manifests to them as Durga, the deadly material nature. As the mistress of this world, Durga rides a tiger and carries a trident whose prongs are the threefold miseries of material life. Miseries arising from the body and mind, miseries inflicted by other living entities, and miseries imposed by higher powers in the form of natural disasters. Indeed, no one, not even the greatest scientist or conqueror, can counteract the sufferings meted out by Durga. Thinking himself more powerful than God, Ravana dangerously ignored reality. After crossing the ocean, Ravana took Sita into the inner apartments of his palace. There, he ordered his fierce Rakshasi attendants, "Watch over Sita most carefully, and let no one see her face without my permission. Let her have gold, jewels, the best clothing, ornaments, and food, whatever she may desire. However, take heed of my warning. Anyone who dares to utter one harsh word towards her will die by my hands. After this, Ravana called for 8 powerful Rakshasas, saying, ever since Rama killed all the Rakshasas at Janasthana, I felt an intolerable enmity towards him. Indeed, I will not sleep peacefully until Rama is killed. Go now to Janasthana, and after spying on him, bring back any information that you may gather. Then again, Ravana went to see Sita, being overwhelmed with desire. Upon entering her quarters, he found her in a distressed state, surrounded by numerous Rakshasas. Bathed in her own tears, Sita appeared like a wind-buffeted boat at sea, or a doe strayed from its herd and surrounded by dogs. Although she was unwilling, Ravana forced Sita to accompany him on a tour of his palace. The opulent palace resembled that of the demigods, with thousands of servants waiting to carry out Ravana's desires. Many rooms had cages with exotic birds, and the palace walls were covered with intricate designs of precious jewels. The couches were made of ivory inlaid with gold. Musicians played sweet and melodious songs, and lotus flowers and fountains adorned the palace gardens and ponds. As she viewed the spacious and fabulously decorated rooms, each containing thousands of women adorned with untold valuable jewels, Ravana explained, Lanka is inhabited by 32 crores of Rakshasas, excluding the aged and infants, and 1,000 of these are my personal servants. If you are wise, O lovely Sita, you will fulfill my ardent desire and become my principal queen. Become my mistress and rule over all this opulence. I am tormented by love for you and shall be devoted to you alone. Please grant me your favor and look upon me with affection, for youthful beauty is fleeting. You should enjoy life with me and forget the insignificant Rama. Sita covered her moon-like face and she began shedding silent tears. Ravana then continued, do not be afraid that our union goes against religious principles. I love you more than life itself. I fall at your feet and beg you to grant me a favor. Let this plea, which has arisen from love's anguish, not go in vain. Never before has Ravana bowed down before any woman. Ravana thought that by speaking of his love for her, Sita would soon be subdued. However, Sita furiously replied, my heart remains for Rama alone. Why should I, a swan sporting with her mate within a lotus-filled lake, prefer a duck meandering on the shore? You can do whatever you like to me. Because of your vile sinful lust, you will soon meet your death at the hands of Rama. After being harshly rebuked by Sita, Ravana became enraged, saying, I'll give you just 12 months to surrender to me. At the end of that time, if you still resist me, I shall have my cooks cut you to pieces and serve you as my breakfast. Ravana then turned to the Rakshasi attendants and ordered, transfer Sita to the Ashoka Grove. Keep a careful watch over her and try to win her over to my side by whatever means is required. Threaten her, flatter her, do whatever it takes, but tame her as one would an elephant. Page 212. Arriving at the beautiful Ashoka Grove, replete with trees full of fruits and flowers, Sita became overwhelmed with anguish due to being constantly intimidated by the deformed Rakshasas. She soon fainted out of fright. At that time, Lord Brahma summoned Indra and said, Sita has been kidnapped by Ravana and taken to Lanka. This is our good fortune, for it surely means the imminent destruction of the Rakshasa king. Still, there is the danger that Sita may die due to separation from Rama. Therefore, I want you to go and give her this heavenly sweet rice to eat. Thereafter, Indra went to the Ashoka Grove at Lanka along with Nidra Devi, the goddess of sleep. After Nidra had put all the Rakshasas to sleep, Indra in the dress of a Brahmana approached Sita and said, I am the heavenly king, come to render assistance to Lord Rama. Please take this celestial sweet rice, for it will make you immune to hunger, thirst, and bodily miseries for many years to come. Sita doubted that the Brahmana was Indra and requested him to reveal his celestial form. Upon her request, Indra assumed his true form. When Sita observed that his feet did not touch the ground, his garland was not faded, and his clothes were completely free from dust, she became convinced of his identity and accepted the sweet rice. Sita first offered the food by praying for Rama to accept it. As soon as she ate it, she became freed from all bodily pangs. Their mission accomplished, Indra and Nidra Devi vanished from the scene. Whenever the Lord's devotees in great difficulty, the Lord sees to his protection. A devotee never worries for his own protection or well-being, knowing that Krishna or Rama is always attentive to his needs. He concentrates on his service to the Lord. In the wonderful reciprocation of love, the devotee always thinks of his Lord, and the Lord always thinks of his devotee. After killing Maricha, Ram hastened back to his cottage. Along the way, he thought, the Rakshasas certainly want to take revenge against me for slaughtering their entire army at Janasthana. Maricha's tricks were probably part of a plan to lure me away and devour Sita. I pray that Lakshmana did not leave Sita alone after hearing Maricha cry out, perfectly imitating my voice. Rama's apprehension increased upon hearing the frightful cry of a jackal at his back. Then birds and other wild animals began to pass Rama on his right side, uttering frightful cries. Moreover, his left eye twitched, his left arm throbbed convulsively, and his heart thumped. While observing these inauspicious signs, Rama met Lakshmana coming from the cottage. Taking him by the left hand, Rama immediately began to reproach him, saying, how could you disobey my order, leaving Sita unprotected? From all the inauspicious omens that have appeared, I can understand that she has either been killed or kidnapped. Oh Lakshmana, how could you leave Sita all alone? As the two rushed back to the cottage, Rama suddenly tripped on the forest path. Overwhelmed by fear of losing Sita and angry with Lakshmana for leaving her unprotected, Rama began to lament like a deranged person. If Sita is dead, then I shall kill myself, for I cannot bear to think of living without her. Oh Lakshmana, how could you betray me like this and leave dear Sita unprotected? Lakshmana hoped to explain, saying, Sita became a mad woman upon hearing your cries for help. She spoke harshly, accusing me of leaving you to die so I could enjoy with her. Then she accused me of being Bharata's accomplice, your enemy in disguise. Hoping to prove her accusations false, I came here to your aid. Rama angrily replied, there is no excuse for leaving Sita unprotected. You are fully aware that I am unconquerable and do not lack prowess for defending myself from Rakshasas or anyone else. You should not have become provoked by a woman's anger and disobeyed my order. Oh Lakshmana, you made a great mistake. Such behavior is unworthy of you. Rama and Lakshmana finally reached their cottage only to find it deserted. Rama then began searching all around for Sita. Failing to find her, his face appeared withered and dark from grief. Afflicted with transcendental madness from feelings of separation, Rama began questioning the trees. Have you seen my beloved Sita pass this way? Dressed in yellow silk and decorated flowers in her hair? Rama then began asking the forest animals and birds if they had seen Sita. Receiving no reply, he became more morose. Then, imagining that Sita had suddenly appeared before him, Rama cried out, oh dear beloved, why are you running away from me and hiding yourself? Why do you not speak to me? Rama then imagined that Sita had been devoured by the Rakshasas and envisioned her delicate bodily features. Rama and Lakshmana continued to comb the surrounding mountains and forests, refusing to give up hope of finding Sita. However, when Sita could not be found, Rama became discouraged and sat down in despair. Regardless, Lakshmana encouraged him to continue searching. Thus, they roamed across many mountains, forests, and plains. Finally, Rama could go no further, and he gave way to intense grief. Standing motionless, seeming bereft of reason, he breathed hotly, and his eyes filled with tears. Rama became indifferent to Lakshmana's assurances that they would find Sita. Tormented by love, Rama cried out helplessly, "Sita, Sita," again and again. As if deranged, Ram cried, "My darling, have you hidden yourself just to play a joke with me? I beg you to please come out, for my suffering is intolerable." There are many instances of devotees weeping in separation from the Lord. The milkmaids of Vrindavan spend their whole life wandering in search of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, as the perfect devotee, also adopted the mood of separation as the highest expression of love of God. Still, one may ask why Rama, as the Supreme Lord, wept for his beloved like an ordinary man. Indeed, being the omniscient Lord, he certainly knew her whereabouts. The Lord enacts his pastime for several reasons. Foremost, he comes to teach us that he is never impersonal but always a supreme person. Thus he gives pleasure to his devotees and teaches mental speculators and mystic yogis that the supreme absolute truth is a person, captured and controlled by love. Secondly, he comes to establish dharma, the way of righteousness. He also comes to annihilate the demons. By weeping over his abducted wife, Lord Rama establishes dharma, right conduct. He shows us by negative example the condition of a man too attached to woman. This incident also shows that woman should always be protected, lest she be exploited by Rakshasas like Ravana. Vedic living has no scope for a woman's being independent. However powerful a woman may be, she cannot protect herself independently. Still, this is for the instruction of the materialists. On the spiritual side, Ram, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not subject to material conditioning. The separation Rama experiences from Sita is understood as transcendental conjugal love in separation. Vipralamba. This is an activity of the Supreme Lord's pleasure potency and belongs to the mellow of conjugal love in the spiritual world. Although repeatedly called for, Sita did not appear. Rama became convinced she had been devoured by the Rakshasas. Lakshmana was also sick at heart. Rama then said, "Oh Lakshmana, please go to the banks of the Godavari, for perhaps Sita has gone there to collect flowers." Thereafter, when Lakshmana returned from the Godavari without Sita, Rama personally went to the river and began asking the trees and animals about her. However, due to their fear of Ravana, none of the creatures dared reply. Although Rama noticed that the deer was looking at him with meaningful intention. Rama then questioned the deer and tried reading their minds through their eyes. The deer seemed to reply by turning their heads upward and to the south, as if indicating that Sita had been carried away through the sky in that direction. Lakshmana could understand the deer's message and suggested they walk towards the south in hope of finding some clue. After setting out, they soon came to a trail of scattered flowers, which Rama recognized as those he had given Sita. Addressing a nearby mountain, Rama asked, "Where has Sita gone after passing this way?" Receiving no answer, Rama became enraged, saying, "O mighty hell, if you do not reply to me, I shall shatter you to pieces with my arrows." There was only silence as Rama glowered at the peaks with hot eyes. Rama then prepared to release his arrows at the mountain when Lakshmana pointed out Sita's footprints besides those of a giant Rakshasa. Following the footprints, Rama and Lakshmana soon came upon Ravana's broken bow and quiver, portions of his shattered chariot, along with pieces of Sita's broken ornaments. Then, when drops of blood were found, Rama concluded that Sita was indeed devoured by the Rakshasas, for it appeared that two man-eaters had fought over her at that spot. Gazing upon the dead mules, smashed chariot, scattered weapons, Rama vowed, "No Rakshasa shall escape my vengeance, for today I will destroy them all in retaliation for Sita's murder. Why have the useless demons not done something to save my helpless wife? If the demigods do not deliver Sita to me at once, as revenge for the negligence and the crime of the Rakshasas, I shall destroy the entire universe." Rama's eyes were red hot with anger, and his lips, tightly pressed together, trembled with rage. Then taking his bow from Lakshmana, Rama placed a terrible arrow meant to destroy the entire universe upon the string. Terrified, Lakshmana joined his hands in supplication, pleading, Rama, by nature, you gentle, self-controlled, and the well-wisher of all living entities. Therefore, please control your wrath and do not act hastily. It appears to me there was only one Rakshasa involved in the first fight, for there is but one broken chariot. Let us continue to search for Sita. If we still do not find her, then you can act as you see fit. My dear brother, you must practice forbearance, since suffering is inevitable. If you cannot tolerate life's miseries, how can the common man be expected to do so? You should only consider how your enemy can be killed. There is no need to destroy the entire universe. While speaking this way, Lakshmana lovingly massaged his brother's lotus feet and gradually pacified Rama. After withdrawing the arrow from his bow, Rama assented to Lakshmana's suggestion to search the entire area of Janasthan thoroughly. Thereafter, while combing the forest, Rama and Lakshmana came upon the fallen Jatayu lying in a pool of blood. Rama thought that he was a Rakshasa disguised as a bird who had devoured Sita and was now resting. Thus, as Rama approached, he fitted an arrow to his bow, ready to release it. However, upon drawing near, Rama understood that it was Jatayu and that he had been fatally wounded while trying to rescue Sita from the clutches of Ravana. Page 220. Understanding the situation, Rama threw his bow aside and embraced Jatayu. Seeing the plight of his servant, Rama became doubly aggrieved. Rama anxiously asked, "Oh Jatayu, please tell me everything you know about Sita and her abductor." The dying Jatayu related all that had happened and commented, Ravana took Sita away at the time of day known as Vinda. If a person loses something at that time, he will surely reclaim it very soon. My dear Rama, do not be overly aggrieved because of Sita, for you shall certainly regain her after killing the Rakshasa king in battle. Then, as Jatayu described Ravana's exalted lineage, he gasped his last breath, uttering, Rama, Rama. Rama told Lakshmana, I am more saddened by the death of Jatayu, who gave his life for my sake, than by the kidnapping of Sita. Go and bring some wood, so we may cremate his body. Let it be known that Jatayu will attain the highest destination as a reward for his service to me. Lakshmana prepared the funeral pyre, and Rama placed Jatayu's body upon it and lit the fire. The brothers made offerings for the benefit of Jatayu's departed soul and chanted Vedic mantras. Rama and Lakshmana then went to the banks of the river Godavari to offer oblations of water and then took bath. Thus, completing the funeral ceremonies, Rama and Lakshmana again fixed their minds upon the task of finding Sita and continued to wander the forest. Traveling toward the southwest, they reached an untrodden land overgrown with trees and bushes. After passing through that region with great difficulty, they left the Dandakarana forest and entered the Krauncha forest. After passing through that, Rama and Lakshmana entered another dense jungle. There, they were suddenly confronted by a huge Rakshasi standing before a large cave. The ghastly Rakshasi, with her long, sharp teeth, a large protruding belly, and hard skin, quickly stepped forward, catching Lakshmana by hand, saying, My dear handsome hero, please come with me and revel in this delightful forest. Then the Rakshasi embraced Lakshmana, saying, I am yours. Take me as your beloved wife. In reply, Lakshmana angrily drew his sword and cut off the Rakshasi's ears, nose, and breast. Bleeding and screaming with pain, the Rakshasi fled. Then Rama and Lakshmana continued on as before. Suddenly Rama said, My left arm is throbbing and my mind feels perturbed. O Lakshmana, we should prepare for imminent danger. A moment later, they heard the frightful cry of a Vanchulaka bird, and Lakshmana remarked, This indicates victory will be ours. After Rama and Lakshmana proceeded some distance into the forest, a loud noise was heard as a storm suddenly began brewing. Searching out the source of the noise, Rama and Lakshmana proceeded cautiously, swords in hand. Before long, they came upon a huge Rakshasa with no head, neck or legs, and a gigantic mouth located in the middle of his belly. The Rakshasa was as big as a mountain, with sharp bristling hair all over his body. On his chest were two fiery eyes, and his long arms stretched out for 8 miles, enabling him to easily catch large animals to eat. Although Rama and Lakshmana retreated to a distance of 2 miles after seeing the monster, the Rakshasa suddenly captured them in his grasp, squeezing so tightly that they were made helpless. Although Rama did not feel threatened, Lakshmana felt despondent, saying, "Oh Rama, you should offer me a sacrifice to this Rakshasa in exchange for your own life. After that, you can continue your search for Sita." While Rama encouraged Lakshmana not to be afraid, the Rakshasa said, "My name is Kabanda. It is very fortunate that you have come to my forest, because I have been hungry for a very long time. Since you are the food which Providence has provided for me, I think you will have a very difficult time keeping your precious lives." Ha 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 ha. Lakshmana then told Rama, "We should quickly save ourselves by cutting off this Rakshas's arms with our swords." Hearing this, Kabanda became furious and immediately opened his fearful mouth wide, hoping to devour Rama and Lakshmana at once. However, before Kabanda could do so, Ram severed his right arm and Lakshmana cut off his left. Thus, the Rakshasa fell to the ground, bathed in his own blood. In an anguished voice, Kabanda asked, "Who are you?" Lakshmana replied, "This is Rama, a Kshatriya in the line of Ikshvaku, and I am his brother Lakshmana. We have come here searching for Rama's wife, Sita, who has been kidnapped by the king of the Rakshasas, Ravana." Kabanda was overjoyed to hear the name of Rama. The Rakshasa then said, "I am so fortunate you have come here to redeem me. Please listen as I explain how I acquired this ghastly form. In my last life, I was the son of Dhanu. By performing great austerities, I satisfied Lord Brahma and was granted the benediction of a long duration of life. After receiving this boon, however, I became very proud, thinking my archenemy Indra could no longer harm me. Thereafter, when I attacked the king of heaven on the battlefield, he hurled his thunderbolt at me. When the thunderbolt struck me, my heads and legs were forced into my body. Finding myself in such a wretched condition, I begged Indra to kill me. However, he refused, saying that to do so would falsify the words of Lord Brahma. At last, when I asked Indra how could I survive without a head, he placed my mouth in the middle of my belly and made my arms 8 miles long. Indra then declared, "When Rama and Lakshmana come before you, you will regain your heavenly form." Kabanda continued, "Ever since that time, I have been catching creatures with my long arms and stuffing them into my mouth, hoping that one day I could catch Rama mentioned by Indra. Then once I harassed a certain rishi who cursed me to retain this horrible form for eternity. I tearfully begged the rishi to prescribe some end to my plight. He confirmed that I could regain my original form after being cremated by Rama. Now I have been delivered by you, and after my death, I will direct you to a powerful ally who will help you attain your desired goal." Rama then explained, "My wife Sita has been kidnapped by Ravana, the king of the Rakshasas. However, I only know his name. I know nothing else about him. Concerning his appearance or place of residence, I will throw you into a big pit and cremate your body so that you can attain your desired destination. In return, give me some information about this Ravana. Kabanda then said, I am very sorry, but I do not know anything about Ravana. After being cremated, however, I will inform you of a person who has traveled throughout the three worlds, and he will be able to assist you in locating the king of the Rakshasas. Thereafter, Ram and Lakshmana took Kabanda into a mountain cave and placed his body upon the funeral pyre that Lakshmana had prepared. Because it was so fat, when the body began to burn, it looked just like a huge lump of burning ghee. Then from out of the fire arose Kabanda in his original celestial form, dressed in fine garments and decorated with ornaments and garlands. After taking his seat upon a celestial chariot pulled by swans, Kabanda said, O Rama, political misfortune can be overcome in 6 ways: by making peace, by fighting, by assassination, by building up superior arms and fortifications, by sowing dissension, and by seeking the help of others. Just as you are now placed in the height of adversity from the loss of your wife, so you will be able to retrieve her with the help of someone in a similar condition. That person is the monkey king Sugriva, who has been exiled by his brother Vali, the son of Indra. O Rama, you should make friends with Sugriva, who was begot by Surya in the wife of Rakshasaraj, for he is also in need of a benefactor. He is now living along with 4 other monkeys on Rishyamukh mountain, which is near Lake Pampa. First, go to Lake Pampa. It's a beautiful sight that abounds with exotic birds. These birds live without fear of human beings, for they have never been injured by them. You should feed these birds and the fish in Lake Pampa, and then meet the ascetic woman Shabari who resides there. The entire area is beautified by ever fresh flowers produced from the perspiration from the bodies of Matanga Rishi's disciples as they brought fruits, roots and flowers from the forest. The great sage Matanga gave up his body at Lake Pampa long ago. Thereafter, the ascetic woman Shabari attended to his disciples. Although these rishis have also long since ascended to higher worlds, Shabari still resides there, awaiting your audience before departing from Brahmaloka. Near Lake Pampa is the Rishyamukh hill, where Sugriva lives in a large cave, always fearful of being attacked by Vali. Sugriva is a loyal, intelligent, generous, wise, brave and powerful. You would do well to make an alliance with him, for he knows all about the Rakshasas. His followers can wander over the earth until they find Sita. Saying this, Kabanda took permission from the Lord Rama and ascended to heaven. Then, following Kabanda's direction, Ram and Lakshmana set out. On the second day, they arrived at Lake Pampa, where they saw the ashram of Matanga Rishi. When Rama and Lakshmana entered the hermitage, Shabari got up and greeted them with folded hands. Then, after touching the lotus feet of Rama and Lakshmana, Shabari honored them with varieties of food and drink and water to wash their feet. When Rama inquired about her spiritual practices, Shabari, who was a perfected soul, replied, Just by seeing you, I have achieved the fruition of all my austerities. When you came to Chitrakuta, the rishis I was serving all went to heaven in celestial chariots. Before departing, however, they assured me that you would come here, and that after receiving you, I would also attain a heavenly destination. At Rama's request, Shabari took him and Lakshmana on a guided tour of the beautiful area surrounding Lake Pampa. Afterwards, Shabari requested Rama's permission to cast off her mortal body so that she could rejoin the sages she had so faithfully served. Being very pleased with Shabari, Rama granted her desire. Thus, after building a fire, the old ascetic lady, dressed in black deerskin and tree bark and wearing matted hair, leapt into the blazing flames. The next moment, Shabari rose up to the heaven like a flash of lightning adorned with celestial jewels and garlands. Having thus witnessed Shabari's spiritual prowess, Ram and Lakshmana went to bathe in Lake Pampa, created from the waters of the 7 seas. Thereafter, feeling enlivened and ever hopeful of finding Sita, Rama anxiously departed with Lakshmana, eager to find Sugriva. Page 227, Kishkindya Kand. The spring beauty surrounding Lake Pampa awoke within Rama memories of his loving pastimes with Sita, thus intensifying his transcendental grief. Rama constantly thought of Sita and wondered if she was able to live without him. Rama bitterly lamented, "Oh Lakshmana, it is now the month of Chaitra, and this lake is so lovely with its deep blue waters. This is the season of love, when all the trees become resplendent with blossoms, their petals raining down to decorate the beautiful green forest carpet. Without Sita, how our life seems meaningless. That which pleased me when she was present now pains me. When I hear the cuckoo's call, I think of Sita's sweet voice. When I see the pink lotus flowers swaying on the crest of the waves, I think of Sita's eyes. The gentle, fragrant breeze remind me of Sita's honey-scented breath. Oh Lakshmana, the pain of this cruel spring is unbearable, for I can no longer bear to live without Sita. You should return to Ayodhya and serve Bharata while I stay here and give up my life." Trying to instill some hope in Rama, Lakshmana replied, "My dear brother, there is no reason to suppose that Sita does not still live. Wherever Ravana may be, in heaven, on earth, in the ocean or the nether regions, we shall find him and vent our wrath. Give up this useless melancholy and fix your mind on finding Sita. It is by earnest endeavor that we shall succeed, not by lamenting." Being thus admonished by Lakshmana, Rama gave his depression. While conversing, they reached the vicinity of the Rishyamukh hill. From a distance, Sugriv could see Rama and Lakshmana approaching. Suspecting them to be the allies of Vali, Sugriva became very afraid. Then he and his associates quickly took shelter within the ashram of Matanga, which was protected by the Rishi's magic spell. But in spite of such security, Sugriv was so restless and frightened that he kept wandering from one hilltop to another, unable to sit still for a moment. Hanuman then said to his distracted master, "You should give up this paranoia of Vali. Being a fickle-minded monkey, you hastily come to conclusions that surely will be rejected after more careful consideration." Sugriva replied, "Whether they are the agents of Vali or not, these persons are certainly frightening. Indeed, these two warriors look like chiefs of the demigods and armed with bows and swords. Certainly, Vali is very cunning, has many friends. Therefore, I want you to find out why they have come here. Observe them carefully. Noting their speech and their expression, find out who they are and what they want. If you purposely glorify them in their presence, you should be able to detect if they are friends or enemies." As he had also had the suspicious mind of a monkey, Hanuman had concealed his real form and appeared before Rama and Lakshmana as a mendicant. Then, after falling flat to offer his obeisances, Hanumana said, "O great heroes, please tell me, how is it that such exalted personalities as yourself have come to this desolate region? Your strongly built bodies indicate that you are warriors, although you are dressed as ascetics." "My name is Hanuman, minister of Sugriva, who has been banished from his kingdom by his elder brother Vali. I am the son of Vayu, and I can go anywhere at will and assume any form that I please. Sugriva has sent me here to extend his friendship and hospitality." Rama then told Lakshmana, "This Hanumana is a minister of Sugriv, the noble king of the monkeys, whom we have been searching for. He appears to be most courteous and he speaks very poetically. In his eyes, limbs, attitude, and expression, there is nothing displeasing or duplicitous. He has depth, confidence, and power. Likewise, his speech reflects a mature unification of heart, voice, and intelligence. Even an enemy would be charmed by his words. O Lakshmana, please explain to Hanumana the events that have brought us here today." Lakshmana said, "It is our good fortune to meet you. We have been searching for Sugriv and are eager to make an alliance of friendship with him. This is Rama, the son of Maharaja Dasharatha, and I am his younger brother, Lakshmana. Rama's father desired to install him as heir apparent to the royal throne, but due to political intrigue, Rama was banished to the forest instead. Recently, Rama's beloved wife Sita was kidnapped by the Rakshasa king Ravana. Overwhelmed by grief, we have been searching for Sita in the forest. While wandering here and there, we happened to come upon a fierce Rakshasa named Kabanda. By killing Kabanda, we relieved him of a terrible curse. In return, while ascending to heaven, he advised us to make an alliance with Sugriva. That is why we have now come. We are ready to do whatever is beneficial for you and your noble king. Page 230. As Lakshmana described, they applied to Hanumana, his voice and tear-filled eyes reflecting his inner anguish. Seeing this, Hanumana replied, "Like you, Sugriva is also bereft of his kingdom and wife. I am certain that he and his followers will help you in your campaign to find Sita. Please come along with me and meet Sugriva, for he has been very anxious to know the reason for your coming here." Saying this, Hanumana assumed his true form as a gigantic monkey. Then he took Rama and Lakshmana upon his shoulders and departed for the Rishimukh mountain. Upon arriving there, Hanumana first went to Sugriva and informed him of Rama's friendly intentions. Satisfied, Sugriva took the form of a mendicant and went out to meet Rama and Lakshmana. As he approached, Sugriva extended his hand as an offering of friendship. With great pleasure, Rama extended his hand in return and then feelingly embraced the monkey chief. Afterwards, to formally unite the two friends, Hanumana lit a sacred fire between Ram and Sugriva. After ceremoniously circumambulating the fire, Ram and Sugriva looked upon each other in a spirit of firm friendship. Sugriva then said, "My dear Rama, from this day on your happiness shall be my happiness, your sorrow shall be my sorrow, and vice versa." Sugriva then placed a flower-laden branch on the ground for Rama to sit upon, and Hanumana did the same for Lakshmana. After all were seated, Sugriva explained, "My dear Rama, I pass my life in constant anxiety because of my brother Vali. After Vali forcibly took my wife and kingdom, I took shelter within this forest. However, I am haunted by the fear that my elder brother may come here and attack me at any time. I do not know a moment's peace." Rama gently smiled and replied, "Service is the real fruit of friendship. Therefore, it is my duty to dispose of Vali and assist you in regaining your kingdom and wife." Sugriva then said, "Hanumana has told me about your exile and the kidnapping of your wife. As a friend, it is my vow to help you recover her, whether she is in heaven, on earth, or in the nether regions. O Rama, I am sure I saw Sita as she was being carried away by a powerful Rakshasa crying out, 'Rama, Rama!' She saw me seated atop this hill with my associates and threw down upon her upper garment and some jewels which we later collected." Rama was eager to see these articles and asked Sugriva to retrieve them. Sugriva then went to the cave he stored them in and brought them out for Ravana to examine. Immediately recognizing the cloth and the ornaments, Rama cried out, "Oh darling, oh dearly beloved!" As tears fell from his lotus eyes, Rama began wailing pitifully and then lost consciousness. After coming to his senses, Rama said, "Oh Lakshmana, these articles were worn by Sita. Do you recognize them?" Lakshmana replied, "I have never looked at Sita above her ankles, so I cannot say whether the cloth is hers. I do, however, recognize the ankle bells because I used to bow to her lotus feet every morning." Rama then inquired about Ravana and Sugriva replied, "Unfortunately, I have not heard of Ravana. However, you may rest assured that I will help you find him. O Rama, you should not lament excessively for the loss of your dear wife. A person can never become happy simply by grieving. Indeed, such sorrow actually diminishes one's strength and puts his life in danger. Although I am a foolish monkey and in a similar situation, I do not lament as much as you. Hearing Sugriva's words, Ram became a little pacified. He then embraced Sugriva again, and the two sat together comfortably. When Sugriva brought up the topic of his fear of Vali, Rama said, "O Sugriva, rest assured that I will kill Vali this very day. First, however, I would like to know how such enmity developed between you two brothers." Sugriva replied, "It is only unto a true friend that one can give full vent to his grief. As it happened, when my father died, Vali, being the elder prince, became the king of Kishkinda, and I engaged in his service. Before this, Mayavi, the son of Mayadana, had established an enmity with Vali because of a woman. Afterward, one night, as everyone lay sleeping, Mayavi came to Kishkinda and challenged Vali to fight. Although his wives and I tried to restrain him, the enraged Vali rushed out of the palace to meet the aggressor. I followed my brother, and when the demon Mayavi saw us, he became frightened and ran away. When we gave chase, Mayavi entered a deep, dark cave that was covered over by thick weeds. Vali ordered me to cut the entrance while he went into the cave to fight the demon. Thereafter, an entire year passed, and although I remained there guarding the entrance, I saw no sign of my brother. Suddenly, I observed blood mixed with foam oozing from the cave, and could hear the noise of many demons, but not my brother's voice. I concluded that Vali must have been slain. I then blocked the entrance of the cave with a huge boulder and offered water for the benefit of my departed brother's soul. When I returned to Kishkinda, the minister installed me upon the royal throne, and I began ruling the kingdom righteously. It came to pass that after some time, and much to the surprise of everyone, Vali returned to Kishkinda, having slain the demon. When my brother saw me seated upon the royal throne, he became enraged and immediately arrested the ministers, throwing them in chains. I could have fought with my brother, but out of respect, I bowed down to him and placed the royal crown at his feet, hoping he would become pacified. Vali, however, remained angry and continued to severely abuse me. Then, calling together the leading citizens, he announced to all, "I entered the bowels of the earth to kill the demon Mayavi. It was only after searching for him for 1 full year that I found him. After I killed the demon and all his relatives, the blood from their bodies flowed, practically filling up the cave and making it very difficult for me to get out. When I finally reached the mouth of the cave, I discovered it was blocked by a huge boulder. I called out for Sugriva again and again, but received no answer. Finally, I kicked out the boulder, freeing myself and returning to Kishkinda. Much to my surprise, I saw Sugriva sitting upon the royal throne. I could then understand that his intention was to shut me up in the cave to gain control over the kingdom. Thereafter, Vali took away all my possessions, including my wife, and banished me from Kishkinda, leaving with only a single cloth. Since that time, I have been residing upon this mountain along with my closest friends." Rama then said, "My dear Sugriva, rest assured that I will kill Vali so that you can recover your wife and kingdom." Even after hearing Rama's assurances, Sugriva remained doubtful whether Rama was powerful enough to slay Vali. To further illustrate his elder brother's prowess, he told the following story. Once there was a great demon named Dundubi, who wandered over the earth in the form of a buffalo. Upon reaching the seashore, Dundubi challenged the ocean to fight. The ocean personified then appeared and said, "O best of the Asuras, I am not competent match for you. I suggest that you approach Himavan, the presiding deity of the Himalayas and father-in-law of Lord Shiva." Thinking that the ocean to be afraid of fighting with him, Dundubi went to the Himalayan mountains and began tearing down its peaks and cliffs. Himavan then appeared upon one mountain top and said, "I am the shelter of great rishis who are non-violent and equipoised. I am not at all adept at warfare. Therefore, O greatest of the demons, please leave us aside and do not create any further disturbance." The angry demon then asked who he could fight with instead, and Himvad described my brother Vali, the son of Indra. Thereafter, Dundubi went to Kishkinda And while bellowing loudly, he began tearing up the ground with his hoofs, uprooting great trees and damaging the city's gates with his horns. Vali immediately went out and challenged the arrogant demon to fight. After a brief exchange of harsh words, Vali grabbed Dundubi by the horns, whirled him around, and dashed him to the ground, causing blood to flow from the demon's ears. A fierce duel then ensued, as each struck the other forcefully. However, after a short time, the demon began to weaken. Seeing this, Vali lifted Dundubi into the air and smashed him to the ground with all his strength. As blood poured profusely from every hole of his body, the demon gave away his life. Then Vali lifted up Dundubi's dead body and hurled it 4 miles away. However, as the corpse flew through the air, drops of blood fell from its mouth and landed on the ground at Matanga Rishi's ashram. This angered the great Rishi, who wondered who could have done such a thoughtless and stupid act. When Matanga came to know that the demon had been killed by Vali, he pronounced the following curse: "If that monkey ever comes within 4 miles of my ashrama, he will instantly die. If any of his ministers come here, they will remain as statues for thousands of years." Although Vali tried to pacify the rishi, he was unable to and has been afraid to approach this place ever since. Over there, you can now see the bones of the great demon. You can just imagine how powerful Dundubi must have been. How then can you hope to defeat Vali? Lakshmana then laughed, realizing that Sugriva doubted Rama's ability to kill Vali. He asked, what feat could Rama do that would prove his prowess and set your mind at ease? Sugriva replied, once at this place, Vali pierced 7 large trees with 7 arrows. If Rama could split one of these trees with a single arrow and then kick the remains of Dundubis a distance of 200 bows length, I would consider him a suitable match for Vali. Hearing this, Rama effortlessly lifted the skeleton of Dundubi with his big toe and sportingly flung it a distance of 80 miles. Even so, Sugriva said, when Vali threw Dundubi's body, it was heavy with flesh and blood. Moreover, he was greatly fatigued from fighting. Since the carcass is now much lighter, it is impossible to judge who is more powerful, you or Vali. At that time, Rama took up his bow and released a powerful arrow that pierced all 7 trees, entered the earth, went down to the bottom of the universe, and after 1 hour returned to his quiver. Sugriva was struck with wonder and reverently bowed at Rama's lotus feet. Rama then embraced Sugriva and insisted, let us now go to Kishkindia. You should go ahead and challenge Vali while Lakshmana and I hide behind some trees just outside the city gates. When Sugriva arrived at Kishkindia, he let out a loud roar, challenging his brother. As Vali heard it, he immediately rushed out, excited with rage, just like the sun emerging from behind a hill. In great anger, Vali and Sugriva struck each other with their fists. However, as Rama watched the fight, he could not discern which of the two was Vali, for the 2 brothers looked exactly alike. Thus, Rama refrained from discharging his arrows, causing Sugriva to think that he was unwilling to help him. Indeed, Sugriva was getting the worst of the fight and finally ran away barely alive, battered and soaked in his own blood. As Vali chased Sugriva, he taunted, "Coward! Run for your life! This time I shall spare you." Sugriva then took shelter in the forest by Matanga's ashram, and soon thereafter Ram, Lakshmana, Hanuman arrived. Sugriva reproached Rama, "If you did not intend to kill Vali, why did you encourage me to challenge him? It would have been better for you to say, I am not willing to kill your elder brother." Rama then explained that he could not distinguish who was who in the fight, since they appeared identical. It was for this reason, Rama said, that I hesitated to discharge my arrow. He told Sugriva to mark himself with something that would distinguish him from his brother. Thereafter, Sugriva again set out for Kishkindia, accompanied by Rama, Lakshmana and Hanumana. When they reached the outskirts of the city, Sugriva strode forward, challenging his brother with loud roars, while the others concealed themselves behind trees and bushes. Wali was inside the lady's apartment when he heard Sugriva summon him. In a fit of rage, he rose up from his seat, storming out of the room in heavy strides. In great anxiety, Wali's wife Tara clung to her husband, imploring him, "My dear Lord, please cast aside your anger and consider the matter carefully. You have already beaten Sugriva severely, thus it is quite suspicious that he would have returned so soon." Roaring with confidence, I must conclude that to dare act so boldly, Sugriva must now be accompanied by a strong ally. Son Anga has received information from his spies that Rama and Lakshmana have come here and made an alliance of friendship with Sugriva. Since Rama is inconceivably powerful, comparable to Lord Vishnu, however, you should not risk creating enmity with him. Please settle this by making Sugriva the heir apparent and thus establish friendship with Rama. Being destined to die, Wali could not accept sound advice. Thus he replied, "I cannot tolerate such arrogance for my younger brother. As for Rama, I have no quarrel with him. He is a virtuous Kshatriya, and I have no fear that he would harm a person that bears no enmity." Saying this, Wali stormed out of the city, hissing with rage. He confronted Sugriva and a fierce struggle ensued. As before, Wali eventually began to gain the upper hand. Then Sugriva signaled Ram, indicating that his strength was waning. Seeing that Sugriva was near the point of collapse, Rama fitted a powerful arrow into his bowstring. He released the arrow, and it flashed through the air like lightning, piercing Wali deeply in the chest. However, even though bathed in his own blood and lying on the ground, Wali did not immediately give up his life, for he was wearing a gold chain given to him by his father King Indra. Coming from the hiding place, Rama and Lakshmana approached the fallen Wali, who began chastising Rama, saying, "I heard you are a righteous hero and king, devoted to dharma and compassionate. Little did I realize you are a vile wretch. Like a well covered with weeds, you make an external show of virtue, but your sinful action has betrayed your sinful heart. I fought with Sugriva because I was convinced that you would not attack me. How could anyone claiming to be a Kshatriya and a hero kill someone engaged in fighting with another with whom he has no enmity? I never harmed or insulted you. I never attacked your kingdom. What merit have you acquired by striking me unfairly? How will you ever justify this action in front of righteous men? If you'd have fought honestly, then it would be you lying here, not I. You shot your arrow at me from behind like a snake attacking a sleeping man. I challenge you to justify this shameful act." Rama replied, "Your accusations show that you are actually ignorant of true morality. Monkeys are by nature frivolous because of their uncontrolled minds. Because you are a monkey and your advisors are also monkeys, you cannot understand dharma. The entire earth, with its mountains, forests and rivers, is ruled over by the dynasty of Ikshvaku. The kings of the Ikshvaku dynasty have complete authority over all men and animals and have the power to punish or reward whomsoever they please. It is you who have acted sinfully under the sway of lust and greed. You have taken Ruma, the wife of a younger brother, and enjoyed her as your wife. It is for this sinful act that you deserve to die at my hands. Death is the proper punishment for one who has sexual relations with his daughter, daughter-in-law, sister, or the wife of a younger brother. If a king does not punish a sinner, then he himself becomes sinful. It is for this reason that I promised to kill you and thus enable Sugriva to regain his wife and kingdom. Aside from this, it is an accepted practice that while hunting, Kshatriyas release their arrows at inattentive animals from a hidden position. Therefore, since you are only a monkey, my act does not bear the slightest fault." Being enlightened by these words, Wali felt shame for his abominable actions. With folded hands he replied, Whatever you have said is certainly true. I only dared to denounce you because I was overly proud, ignorant of my own sins. My dear Rama, I implore you to give protection to my only son Angada, begotten by me through my wife Tara. He will certainly become grief-stricken upon hearing my death. Please excuse my harsh words spoken in ignorance. Rama assured Vali that he would take care of Angada. Meanwhile, Tara came running from the palace with her son. She was surrounded by Vali's ministers, and when the monkeys saw Rama, they began to flee in fear. Tara tried to restrain them, but they urged, "Do not go out to see Vali. Protect your monkeys with the fortification of Kishkindia and prepare to install him on the throne." Tara answered, "I do not care for sovereignty. The kingdom and its royal opulence are now useless without my husband." Crying and beating her breast in lamentation, Tara went to where Vali lay upon the ground in the grip of approaching death. Tara embraced her dying husband, and Vali's other wives surrounded them, plunged in grief. Tara's only desire was to follow her husband, and she made up her mind to fast until death. At this, Hanuma went to her and pleaded, "O queen, please get up. Do not succumb to grief. You must perform the funeral ceremonies for your husband and protect Angada after installing him upon the throne." Page 242. Vali then said, "My dear Sugriva, I beg you to forgive me for all the wrong I have done towards you. Accept the kingdom from me now and take care of my son, Angad, for he shall always remain faithful to you." Saying this, Vali handed Sugriva the celestial gold chain he had received from Indra. Then, turning to Angada, he said, My dear son, now that I am departing, you should always remain obedient to Sugriva. Always act after due consideration and accept the dualities of pleasure and pain with an equipoised mind. Avoid excessive attachment and hatred, for both lead to degradation." Wow, how profound. Thus, after speaking to Angada, Vali, who was deeply wounded by Ram's arrow, gave up his life. Then, as Tara continued to embrace her dead husband, wailing in grief, Neera came and extracted the arrow from Vali's chest. Tara then told Angada, bow down to your father's feet." As the young prince did this, he too became overwhelmed with grief. Upon seeing Tara's anguish, Sugriv became despondent, and with a sorrowful voice said to Rama, "I have found that the fulfillment of my desire has produced the opposite of what I had anticipated. Instead of happiness, I feel repulsion towards the kingdom and even life itself. To atone for my sins, I will give up my life in the fire. My dear Rama, these other heroic monkeys will help you search for your beloved wife Sita." Rama became detached hearing Sugriva speak this way. As tears came to Rama's eyes, Tara approached him saying, "I know that my husband will be very unhappy without me, even if he now resides in heaven. Therefore, please kill me also, so I may rejoin him. If you consider killing a woman to be sinful, then just think of me as non-different from Vali." Rama turned to Sugriva saying, Your tears of sorrow are sufficient bereavement for the departed soul of your brother. This world is moving in the direction of eternal time, and all living entities make their appearance and departure. Under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, time never oversteps its limit. Thus, one should not lament for that which is inevitable. In this way, Sugriva became pacified. With Lakshmana's help, he began to arrange for the cremation of his brother's body. Soon thereafter, a palanquin was brought from Kishkindia. Sugriva placed Bali's body on it and led the funeral procession to the banks of a nearby mountain stream. As the funeral pyre was being built, Tara placed Vali's head upon her lap while continuing to weep bitterly, giving pain to all who saw her. Finally, the other woman came and raised Tara up, allowing Sugriva and Angada to place the body of Vali on the funeral pyre. After the cremation, the relatives brought water from the river Tungabhadra and made offerings for the departed soul of the heroic monkey king. When the funeral ceremonies were completed, Hanumana requested Ram to accompany Sugriv to Kishkindia to install him on the royal throne. Rama declined, however, saying, "Hanumana, I suggested that you officiate at Sugriva's coronation and have Angada installed as heir apparent. Since the monsoon season is nearly upon us, it is not a suitable time to search for Sita. all the monkey chiefs may stay in Kishkindia for 4 months, while Lakshmana and I pass our time residing in a mountain cave. When autumn arrives, we can begin an all-out search for the kingdom of Ravana. Sugriv then entered Kishkindia and was welcomed by the citizens. The bathing ceremony at his coronation was performed by the foremost of monkeys, including Mahinda, Dvivida and Hanuman, as well as Jamavana, the king of the bears. Sugriva accepted his wife Ruma back and installed Angada as their heir apparent to the royal throne. For 4 months, Rama and Lakshmana dwelt within a mountain cave. Feeling intense separation from Sita, Rama could not find any pleasure in the scenic beauty of the mountainous regions. He was unable to sleep at night and constantly shed tears of anguish. One day, Rama said to Lakshmana, "After evaporating water from the ocean for 9 months, the sky now sends forth heavy showers of rain. Dark clouds as large as hills range across the sky in clusters, creating a mood of melancholy. The golden lightning as it streaks inside a blackish mountain cloud appears like Sita in the arms of Ravana. The lush green grass spotted with various flowers and restless birds provides a colorful dress for Mother Earth. Bees are humming, frogs are croaking, and the rumble of thunder and patter of the rain provide musical accompaniment. Surely, Sugriva is able to enjoy all this, for his objective has been fulfilled. But without Sita, I am like the river bank that erodes from the river's constant current." Lakshmana would try to encourage Rama, pointing out that the purpose of a grieving man was never fulfilled. Regardless, the dark skies and frequent rains that nourished the tropical jungle only intensified Rama's longing for Sita. Rama assumed that when he had helped Sugriva to regain his kingdom, Sugriva would remember his obligation to assist him find Sita. But when autumn arrived and the skies became clear, Sugriva did not come forward to meet Rama. Having achieved his goal, and now without cause for fear, Sugriva had begun to spend his time completely absorbed in enjoying the company of young women in private, especially his wife Ruma and the newly acquired Tara. Thus he even neglected to fulfill his obligation of managing the state administration. When Hanumana saw how Sugriva had become a slave to sensuality and thereby becoming negligent in his duties, he approached the king and advised, "You must keep your promise and fulfill your obligation to Rama. Only out of respect for you has Rama not personally come here to remind you. However, you must remember that it is only by his grace that you have been allowed to prosper. It is now time for you to summon the more than 10 million monkeys under your command and begin an all-out search for Sita." Hanuman's speech momentarily brought Sugriva back to his senses. Sugriva then called Nila and ordered, "Let my proclamation be broadcast to all the monkey warriors. All must proceed here for duty within 15 days, or else face the death sentence." Giving this command, Sugriva returned to his inner apartments. Page 246. The beauty of autumn only heightened Rama's anguish in separation from Sita. When he could understand that Sugriva was simply wallowing in a life of sensuality, Rama became even more depressed. Lakshmana also became despondent from witnessing Rama's grief and tried his best to cheer him. One day Rama decided, "Now that autumn has arrived, the ground is dry and firm, the air crisp and cool. This is the perfect time to initiate a military campaign. Unfortunately, Sugriva is not to be seen. It appears that he has forgotten all sense of duty, being fully absorbed in the pleasure of the association of women. Therefore, Lakshmana, I want you to go to Kishkindia and admonish Sugriva in my name, saying, 'O king of monkeys, one who acts like you is the most vile of persons. I am astonished that you are not afraid of neglecting Rama, the slayer of your elder brother. I hereby warn you that if you neglect your promise to help Rama find Sita, then he will personally come to Kishkindia and kill you along with all your relatives.'" When Rama exhibited his anger, born of intense transcendental frustration, Lakshmana also became incited with rage. Picking up his bow, Lakshmana declared, "If that rascal Sugriva does not jump to execute your command, then I shall kill him myself this very day." As Lakshmana quickly departed, Rama tried to restrain his brother's anger. First speak to Sugriva in a conciliatory tone, for I am sure that will be enough to bring him to his senses, Rama said. In a mood of great indignation, Lakshmana entered Kishkindia, a beautiful city built within a large cave. As he rushed like a mad elephant towards Sugriva's palace, Lakshmana knocked down the trees that stood in his path. When the many fierce monkeys guarding the palace garden saw Lakshmana approach, his lips trembling in rage, they began gathering weapons by uprooting large trees and tearing down mountain peaks. When Lakshmana saw the monkey guards arming themselves in this way, he became so ferocious that the monkey guards became panic-stricken and fearfully ran away. Sugriva's ministers rushed to Sugriva to inform him of Lakshmana's arrival in such an angry mood. Sugriva, however, was fully absorbed in sexual activities with Tara and did not pay much heed to his ministers. As the ministers ordered the monkey to arm themselves in preparation for battle, the enraged Lakshmana met Angada and told him to inform Sugriva of his arrival. At that, Angada went into Sugriva's chamber and clasping his uncle's feet, informed him of Lakshmana's presence. However, Sugriva had fallen asleep in a drunken state and failed to rise. Only when numerous monkeys began to clamor loudly around Sugriva did he finally arise. Out of fear of Lakshmana, Sugriva came to his senses. As Sugriva opened his bloodshot eyes, his ministers informed him, Lakshmana is now waiting for you outside the palace gates in a highly agitated state. We urge you to go out immediately, offer your obeisances, and submit to him. Pray this will appease his anger. Having finally realized the gravity of the situation, Sugriva hastily arose from his bed, wondering why Lakshmana would be angry with him. Hanumana then reminded Sugriva, O king, due to becoming absorbed in self-gratification, you have not even noticed how the time has passed. Autumn has now long since arrived, yet you have neglected to fulfill your promise to help Rama in his search for Sita. Lakshmana has now come here to remind you. I suggest you to approach him with folded hands and hope that you may somehow appease him. On Sugriva's order, Angada escorted Lakshmana into the palace. All the monkeys who previously had taken up weapons now stood with folded hands to greet Lakshmana. When Lakshmana came to the inner apartment of Sugriva's palace, he could hear the voices of women singing to the accompaniment of musical instruments mixed with the jingling sound of their ornaments. Indeed, upon seeing all the young women, beautiful women, Lakshmana became somewhat ashamed due to his vow to shun the company of others' wives. Although he restrained himself from entering, Lakshmana announced his arrival by twanging his mighty bow. Sugriva trembled upon hearing that sound and told Tara, I wonder why Lakshmana is angry. I think it would be better for you to go first and try to appease him. Tara came before Lakshmana, her dress loosened and her eyes rolled from intoxication. Lakshmana's anger subsided and he humbly looked downward towards her feet out of respect. Tara then inquired, My dear prince, why are you so angry with Sugriva? Lakshmana sharply replied, Your husband has neglected his obligation to Rama, preferring instead to pass his days in his inner apartments dallying with women. Tara then pleaded to Lakshmana, You must forgive Sugriva, for he has lost his good intelligence under the sway of lust. Even great rishis sometimes hanker for sense gratification. What to speak of a fickle-minded monkey? Please do not think that Sugriva has forgotten his obligation to Rama. He has already called for millions of monkeys to assemble here to begin the search for Sita. Please come in and talk to Sugriva yourself. Lakshmana entered the inner apartments of the palace. When he saw the fabulous opulence and the bevies of beautiful women, his anger became aroused. Sugriva was seated upon a couch embracing Ruma. However, upon seeing Lakshmana enter, he hurriedly stood up with folded hands, as did all the ladies present. Lakshmana then chastised Sugriva. You have simply made empty promises, proving yourself to be a false friend. Therefore, you are most abominable. One who receives help from a sincere friend and does not repay that service is considered hard-hearted and must be killed. Indeed, once when Lord Brahma saw such an ungrateful person, he exclaimed, The means of atonement has been prescribed for the killer of a cow, a drunkard, a thief, or for one who has broken a sacred vow, but there is no expiation for an ungrateful soul. I warn you, Sugriva, if you do not begin helping Ram immediately, you will meet your brother Vali in the abode of Yamraja this very day. Tarzan replied for husband, "O Lakshmana, Sugriva is not a liar, nor is he hard-hearted. He has not forgotten what Ram did for his sake. His only fault is losing all senses of time because of overindulgence in sense gratification. We have heard that in Lanka, the abode of Ravana, there are 100,000 crores of Rakshasas. Since it would not be possible to kill Ravana without slaying him first, Sugriva has summoned innumerable monkey warriors from all corners of the earth. He has not yet met with Rama or initiated the search for Sita because awaiting their arrival. Sugriva has set a 15-day time limit. Thus, thousands of monkeys, bears, and baboons are expected to begin arriving at Kishkindia this very day." Hearing this, Lakshmana gave up his anger. Sugriva humbly threw aside his garland and said, "I could never repay Ram for all that he has done for me. He is my master and my lord. I will follow him wherever he goes and do whatever he orders. I fully admit that I was at fault and humbly beg your forgiveness." Pleased, Lakshmana replied, "Kindly forgive my angry mood as well. I think it would be best for you to go now and see Rama. He'll be encouraged by your sincerity." Sugriva then ordered Hanuman, "Summon again all the monkeys from the Himalayan, Mahindra, Mandara and Kailasha mountains. Arouse all who are prone to sense indulgence and procrastination. Tell them that anyone who does not respond to my order within 10 days will be killed." Hanumana immediately dispatched the monkey leaders in all directions. Then within the same hour, millions of monkeys began pouring into Kishkindia. After presenting themselves to Sugriva, the monkeys were dismissed. Then Lakshmana again requested Sugriva to go and meet with Rama. Thus Sugriva had a palanquin brought forth, and he and Lakshmana were carried to Rama's dwelling, accompanied by innumerable monkeys. Page 251. Thereafter, as Lakshmana and Sugriva stood before Rama with folded hands, Rama gazed upon the army of monkeys with great pleasure. Sugriva then fell flat before Rama, submitting himself as a fully surrendered soul at his lotus feet. Rama then mercifully lifted up Sugriva and embraced him, without any trace of resentment for Sugriva's past negligence. The Lord. After offering the monkey king a seat, Rama instructed Sugriva about royal duties. A king should understand the proper times for dharma, artha, and kama, and then enjoy life accordingly. When a king gives up the Vedic regulations, being overly attached to sense gratification, thus indulging himself irregularly, he is considered fallen. My dear Sugriva, now is the time for you to endeavor to find Sita, as you have already vowed. Sugriva replied, "My dear Rama, please rest assured, I am eager to help you, as are all the monkeys who have assembled here." Rama again embraced Sugriva, reconfirming their friendship. Thereafter, a huge dust cloud began forming because of the great hordes of monkeys converging upon Kishkindia in response to Sugriva's order. The cloud covered the entire sky so that the sun became veiled. All the great leaders of the monkeys and Jamvana, the king of the bears, came before Sugriva with their millions of followers. The entire surrounding forest and mountain area became completely covered by the mountain monkeys. Pointing out a different group of monkeys, Sugriva said to Rama, "My dear lord, you should consider these monkey warriors as your own army. From now on, please order them as you see fit." Hare Krishna. We are doing Ramayana Recitation, so you're welcome to sit and watch here. Page 252. Rama said, "Our first mission is to locate the abode of Ravana and ascertain whether Sita is still alive. My dear Sugriva, you should organize the search parties. When Sita is found, I will give the necessary orders." Sugriva immediately called for the monkey king Vinda and ordered, "I want you and your soldiers to search everywhere in the eastern direction, including the 7 oceans and 7 islands. Beyond the ocean of milk, there is an ocean of fresh water, wherein lies the subterranean fire. 13 yojanas from the eastern shore of the freshwater ocean is a mountain called Jatarupashila, which is made entirely of golden rocks. It is there that Lord Ananta Sesa resides, supporting the entire earth. This marks the outer boundary of the eastern quarter. I am giving you 1 month to search this entire area. Anyone who reports back later than that will be executed for neglecting the royal order. Next, Sugriva dispatched Angada, Nila, Hanumana, Jamvan, Mahinda, Dvivida and others to the south, making the son of Vali their leader. After describing the southern region, Sugriva instructed the monkeys. 800 miles beyond the northern shore of the salt ocean is an island that I think must surely be the residence of Ravana. Further to the south is Bhogavati, the capital of Rasatala, which is presided over by Vasuki. Then beyond the Rishab mountain, which marks the furthest boundary of Bhumandala, is the abode of Yamaraja. Do not search the Pitalok or anywhere beyond, for no earthly being can go there. Sugriva then dispatched Sushena and his followers to the west. He instructed them. In the middle of the salt ocean is Pragjyotishpura, the city of Narkasura, and the western limit is where the sun sets. Beyond that, there is no information as to what exists, so you should not go there. Finally, Satabali was dispatched to the north, and Sugriva informed him, you will first come to the land of Mlechas, and then the Himalayan mountains. Beyond these mountains is 800 miles of desolate land. After that is Mount Kailasa, where Kuvera resides. Beyond Kailasa is Krauncha mountain, then Uttarakuru province, and finally the northern saltwater sea, in the middle of which is a golden mountain called Somagiri. There, Lord Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva reside. When you see that mountain, you should turn back, for it is not possible to go beyond that. Sugriva considered Hanuman to be the most capable of finding Sita. To encourage him, Sugriva said, O Hanumana, of all the powerful monkeys, you are exceptional. There is no one capable of obstructing you on this earth, in the sky, in heaven, or in neither regions. Not only do you have superhuman strength, but you are courageous, intelligent, and resourceful. Therefore, I am especially counting on you to find Sita. Hearing these words and observing Hanuman's self-confidence, Rama also became convinced that Hanumana would be the one to find his beloved wife. Taking his ring, Rama handed it to Hanuman, saying, my name is inscribed on the inside. When you locate Sita, give her this ring. She will then become convinced that you are my envoy. My dear Hanumana, I have full confidence that you will be able to carry out this important mission on my behalf. Accepting the ring, Hanumana touched it to his head and bowed down before Rama. He then departed while the other monkeys began scouring the earth for Sita. Rama and Lakshmana consented to remain in their mountain cave for the next month. After the monkeys had departed, Rama asked Sugriva, how have you acquired such extensive knowledge of the earth's geography? Sugriva replied, after Vali returned to Kishkindya and banished me, even though I voluntarily surrendered the kingdom to him, he remained angry and continued to chase after me. Thus, out of fear from my brother, I continually wandered over the surface of the entire earth, seeking shelter. Finally, after some time, Hanumana informed me of Matanga's curse, and I took shelter of Matanga's ashrama. As the monkeys searched for Sita, they spread out during the day to comb their allotted areas, and at night regrouped to take rest. Before 1 month had elapsed, Vinata, Shatabali, and Sushena returned, having thoroughly scoured their assigned regions. With sad faces, they reported to Sugriva that they had not been able to unearth even a single clue about Sita's location. Sugriva sat next to Rama as the monkeys came and related to him the experiences. Everyone concluded that Hanuman was their only hope. As the party led by Angada thoroughly searched throughout the desolate Vindhya mountain range, they became tormented by hunger and thirst, for that entire region was devoid of water. Then, when the monkeys left the mountains and entered the adjoining forest, they were disappointed to find the trees that did not even bear leaves. What to speak of fruits and flowers? because all the streams of that area were dried up, as it was also bereft of birds and other animals. The forest had once been the home of the great sage Kandu. When his son died prematurely at the age of 10, the rishi became so angry that he caused the entire forest to become unfit for the habitation of man or beast. While roaming in this desolate forest, the monkeys came upon a ferocious Rakshasa. Although the demon was fearless, having received a benediction from the demigods, he was killed by Angada, who thought him to be Ravana. However, when Angada's party searched the entire area and failed to find any clue concerning Sita's whereabouts, they became disappointed. Time passed quickly. As Angad urged the monkeys on in their search around the Vindhya mountain range, the allotted 1 month came to an end. Oppressed by hunger and thirst, the monkeys searched for water. Then Angad and Tara sighted a cave where moist creepers grew thickly and aquatic birds flocked. They hastened to the cave, hoping to find water within. The cave was deep and dark, and as they cautiously entered it, they made a chain by holding hands. Finally, after proceeding for 8 miles, the monkeys could see a light deep within the cave. Proceeding further, they came upon a grove of golden trees. Soon they came upon golden palaces, beautiful ponds, and lovely gardens. In the midst of this heavenly grove, the monkeys beheld an ascetic woman dressed in black deerskin and glowing with great spiritual effulgence. Hanuman approached her with folded hands and said, "Kindly tell us who you are and to whom this cave belongs. Why does everything have such a golden appearance? We are very tired and thirsty. We've been wandering about through waterless regions for a long time." The woman replied, "My name is Swayam Prabha, the daughter of Meru Savarni, the superintending deity of Mount Meru. I am a friend of the Apsara Hema, and I remain here guarding this hermitage. This cave, named Rikshabila, is the creation of Mayadanav. After performing austerities here, Mayadanav received a benediction from Lord Brahma that enabled him to possess all the mystic powers known to Shukra. Thereafter, Mayadanav continued to dwelling here. However, later on, when Maya became attached to Hema, Indra drove him from these regions with the help of his thunderbolt. Lord Brahma then gave this cave to Hema. Please make yourself feel at home and kindly tell me the purpose of your visit, of your coming to this inaccessible region." According to Vedic etiquette, one must always welcome a guest. First, one should offer him a sitting place and refreshment. Afterwards, one can inquire about his well-being. Even if the host is very poor, he can at least offer a clean sitting place and a glass of water. In such a pleasant atmosphere, a guest is sure to feel peaceful and happy. Thus, Swayamprabha heartily welcomed her visitors. As Swayamprabha offered her guests her hospitality, Hanuman narrated the entire story of Rama's exile and their search for the kidnapped Sita. Hanumana then said, "We cannot thank you enough for your kind reception. Is there any service we can perform in return?" Swayamprabha replied, Because I am engaged in performing austerities, I have nothing to ask from others." Hanuman then said, "Our master, the monkey king Sugriva, has allotted us 1 month to find Sita. The time has already expired and we therefore feel doomed. Is there any way you can help us?" Swayamprabha replied, "It is nearly impossible for anyone who has entered this cave to get out alive. However, I shall assist you by utilizing my mystic powers, but you must close your eyes, for no one can live here while looking about." Thereafter, the monkeys kept their eyes tightly shut. Suddenly, they felt themselves being transported out of that cave. When they at last opened their eyes, they saw that everyone had been carried out of the cave. Looking about, they could see that all the trees were now in full bloom. Apparently, spring had arrived. The monkeys became very depressed, thinking of how so much time had somehow mysteriously elapsed. Angada then suggested, "We should all sit down and fast until death, for that would be more noble than being killed by Sugriva for our negligence. All the assembled monkeys agreed that there was no question of them returning to Kishkindia without first obtaining some information about Sita. Tara then proposed, "Let us take shelter within this inaccessible cave, for we could all live here without fear of being discovered." Angada remained silent, as if ready to approve this plan. However, Hanumana said, "My dear prince, I consider you to be endowed with the 8 attributes of intelligence: an inclination to hear what others have to say, the capacity to hear what others have to say, the ability to comprehend the basic meaning of what others have to say, good memory, capacity to reason in favor of a proposition, capacity to reason without a proposition, against a proposition, deep insight into the meaning of what others say, and true wisdom. Above and beyond all this, you are endowed with the 14 excellences that characterize great personalities: a sense of time and place, firmness, ability to endure all kinds of hardship, knowledge of all subjects, expertise, vigor, ability to guard secrets, consistency, heroism, ability to judge one's own strength in comparison to that of the enemy, appreciation for the services rendered by others, compassion for surrendered soul, indignation in the presence of unrighteousness, and steadiness in duty." In this way, Hanumana employed the first political expedient by flattering Angada, then utilized the third by causing some dissensions among the monkeys, making them argue about what should be done. So you can see Hanuman is very smart. Finally, he intimidated Angada by saying, "If you go with your foolish plans to live within this cave, then you shall soon meet with disaster. The other monkeys will not remain faithful to you for very long under such conditions. Moreover, eventually Lakshmana will find out where you are and destroy the cave with you and the other monkeys. However, if you return to Kishkindia, Sugriva will certainly forgive you because you are the only son. He will later install you on the throne." Angada countered Hanuman by arguing, "You overestimate Sugriva and forget that he is enjoying his elder brother's wife. Sugriva purposefully neglected his promise to Rama and took action only after being threatened by Lakshmana. Therefore, whoever wants to can return home. I, however, shall remain here fasting until death." After saying this, Angad sat down on Kushagras and wept. The other monkeys surrounded him, likewise determined to give up their lives. Just then, Sampati, the elder brother of Jatayu, came out of his cave and perched on top of a mountain in sight of all the monkeys. Being overjoyed, he said loud to himself, "By the grace of Providence, I have some good foods after such a long time. When the monkeys begin to fall down dead from starvation, I shall them eat one by one." Hearing this, Angada became agitated. Addressing Hanuman, he said, "What a terrible fate we now face. This is all the doing of the evil Kaikeyi. First, she caused the destruction of the great soul, Jatayu, then Vali, and now she'll become the cause of our deaths as well." This is the first time Sampati had heard of Jatayu's death, and so he requested, "Please tell me all the details about the passing of my younger brother. I have become very pleased in hearing Jatayu's name glorified by you, although I am distressed to hear of his death. Oh, best of the monkeys, I wish to beg one favor from you. Long ago, the rays of the sun burned my wings, and now I cannot fly. Would you kindly help me to come down from the mountain peak?" Since only moments earlier Sampati had expressed desire to eat them, the monkeys could not readily put much faith in his words. However, they reasoned, "We are going to die in any case by fasting. Therefore, if this gigantic vulture eats us alive, it only means that our suffering will end more quickly." The monkeys went and helped Sampati down from the mountain top. As they went down, Angada told the entire story of Rama's exile and the heroic death of Jatayu. In turn, Sampati related his own history in a tearful voice. "Long, long ago, Jatayu and I wanted to test our prowess by challenging the King of Heaven. After soaring high into the sky, up to the heavenly planets. We defeated Indra in battle. Then, having become very proud, we decided to rise up even higher. Thereafter, as we approached the sun, Jatayu grew faint from the great heat. To save Jatayu, I covered him with my wings. In the process, my wings became burned and I fell down into the Vindhya mountains. Angada then interrupted, saying, if you are actually the elder brother of Jatayu and our well-wisher, then give us information about the abode of Ravana. Sampati replied, because I am very old and my wings are burnt, I am unable to physically serve Lord Rama, but at least I can do so with my power of speech. I was told that a young lady was carried away by Ravana, and while crying out, Rama, Rama, she dropped some of her ornaments to the ground. I know that this Ravana is the king of Rakshasas, and his kingdom Lanka is situated on an island 100 yojanas from the southern shore. Because I am a descendant of Vinata, my vision extends for more than 100 yojanas. Thus, I can see the golden city from here. My dear monkeys, you will be able to find Sita in Lanka, guarded by the Rakshasas. Now, please grant me one favor. Take me to the ocean so that I can offer water for the departed soul of my brother. The monkeys were overjoyed to hear about Sita, thus casting aside their vow to fast until death. They took Sampati to the ocean and quickly returned. Jaman then asked him, how did you come to learn that Sita had been abducted by Ravana? Sampati explained, after my wings were burned and I fell into the Vindhya mountains, my son Suparshva began to take care of me and bring me food. Once I was very hungry, and when Suparshva returned home without food, I chastised him. My son told me, while searching for flesh today, I happened to see a giant Rakshasa carrying away a young woman through the air. I wanted to bring both of them to you to eat, but the Rakshasa asked me in a very friendly manner to allow him to pass by. I could not refuse his request. Afterwards, the Siddhas came and informed me that he was Ravana and said that it was fortunate for me that the Rakshasa had not killed me. Sampati could see that the monkeys were now confident of his friendship. He continued narrating his life story. After I fell into the Vindhya mountains, I remained unconscious for 6 days. When I came to my senses, I went to see the great sage Nishakara, who was living nearby and was known to my brother and me. When I went to the Rishi and asked about how my wings had been burnt and explained the entire incident, I told him that after falling from the sky and not hearing from my brother, I contemplated committing suicide by jumping from a mountain peak. As I stood before him, tears flowing from my eyes, Nishakar told me, do not despair, for I give you the following benediction. When at a future date you give information to the monkeys about Sita, your wings will reappear along with renewed energy. Saying this, the sage Nishakara returned to his cottage, and I crawled back to my place in the Vindhya mountains. Since then, I have simply waited for your arrival. After 8,000 years passed, the Rishi Nishakara gave up his body and went to heaven in his absence. I had begun to doubt the validity of his words. As Sampati spoke to the monkeys, a pair of wings sprouted from his body, and he felt a surge of youthful energy. With great delight, Sampati encouraged the monkeys to resume their search for Sita. As Sampati soared into the sky, the monkeys headed south, rejuvenated with new hope. However, when the monkeys reached the shore of the ocean, they became dejected upon seeing its vastness, thinking themselves incapable of crossing over to Lanka. Angada encouraged the monkeys, saying, despondency is useless, for it has never caused an action to bear fruit. Indeed, despair is the root of failure. It is as deadly as a poisonous snake. Now, whoever can leap 100 yojanas to rescue Sita from the clutches of Ravana, please step forward so we can become freed from Sugriva's wrath. Since no one responded to Angada's call, he began asking the monkeys individually how far they could jump. You? You? Some monkeys said they could jump 10 yojanas, or 20, 30, 40, or 50. Manda said he could jump 60 yojanas, and Duyuda claimed 70. Susena declared he could easily jump 80 yojanas, while Jaman explained, "Formerly, I had an almost unlimited jumping capacity. However, now at the end of my life, I can only leap 90 yojanas. Long ago, when Lord Ramana covered the entire universe, I circumambulated him as he took his 3 strides. Unfortunately, I am no longer capable of jumping to Lanka to rescue Sita." Finally, Angada said, I can probably jump 100 yojanas, but I doubt I could do so a second time to make the return journey. Jamana replied, I am sure that your prowess you could leap 1000 yojanas. However, you are the leader of this expedition, and it will not be proper for you to accomplish this task yourself. Therefore, my dear prince, you must order someone else to do it. Angada then replied, it does not matter who is in charge. If someone does not go to Lanka, be it myself or someone else, then our only alternative is to fast until death. Therefore, Jamana, please devise some means whereby we can cross the ocean and save ourselves from Sugriva's wrath. Jamana then said, do not worry, for I shall now appeal to someone who will certainly be able to perform this difficult feat. Oh, Hanumana, you are equal to Garuda, the carrier of Lord Vishnu. Why have you not spoken up? Please listen as I now describe the glories of the best of all monkeys. Once, one of the foremost apsaras named Punji Kastali was cursed by a rishi and thus took birth as Anjana, the daughter of the monkey king Kunjara. Anjana grew up to be unparalleled in beauty and could change her form at will. Page 266. Once, after having married the monkey chief Keshari, Anjana took the form of a human being and began wandering through the mountains. Upon seeing the beautiful Anjana, Vayu became captivated and removed her dress by means of the wind. When Vayu saw Anjana's rounded and closely united thighs, her swelling breasts and other feminine attractions, he became overwhelmed with sexual desire and embraced her by force. Unable to see her assailant, Anjana cried out, who is violating my vow to accept only one husband? Vayu replied, I am the god of air, Vayu. I have now physically spoiled your chastity because I have entered you mentally. By my grace, you will give birth to a powerful son who is equal to myself in ranging at will. Anjana became pleased by Vayu's words, and soon thereafter she gave birth to Hanumana within a mountain cave. The next morning, when baby Hanumana saw the rising sun, he thought it to be a shiny fruit. Desiring to catch it, he leapt more than 3000 yojanas into the sky, but was thrown back to earth by the sun's brilliance. Unscattered, Hanumana jumped again. This time, however, Indra became angered by the monkey's audacity and hurled his thunderbolt. Thus, the king of heaven's weapon dashed Hanumana against a mountainside, fracturing the left side of his chin. Indeed, it is because of this incident that Hanumana received his name, for Hanumana means one having a broken chin. Vayu became furious at Indra's aggression against his son and began withholding the air from the 3 worlds. This plunged the demigods into great anxiety. With Lord Brahma as their head, they rushed to Vayu's abode, hoping to pacify him. Just to satisfy the wind god, Lord Brahma blessed Hanumana to become invincible in battle. Indra was pleased and surprised to see that the baby monkey had not been killed by his thunderbolt. Therefore, he awarded Hanumana the benediction of being able to die at will. Jamvan concluded, I consider Hanuman alone to be capable of executing our mission. Of course, in the past, this little jump would have been nothing for me. As Lord Trivikrama expanded his 3 steps to take away Vali's kingdom, I soared around the world 21 times to circumambulate him. When the demigods and demons wanted to produce nectar, it was I who single-handedly collected all the herbs that were thrown into the ocean of milk. However, I have grown very old. It is now time for Hanumana to exhibit his prowess. Hanumana, became greatly encouraged upon hearing these words of glorification. Then, to the joy of all the monkeys present, Hanumana began expanding himself into a gigantic form, while telling his own glories. I am able to go to Mount Meru 1,000 times without even pausing, and by splashing the waters of the ocean, I could invade the entire world. I could circumambulate Garuda 1,000 times as he flies through the sky. And I can uproot the entire city of Lanka and carry it a great distance if I so desire. All the monkeys were thrilled to hear Hanumana boast of his prowess. However, to remind him of the gravity situation, they said, "We shall all stand here upon one foot until you return. Our very lives rest upon you, as well as all hopes of recovering Sita." Hanumana then informed the monkeys, "I will leap from the peak of Mount Mahendra. Since it is capable of sustaining the immense pressure I will exert on the earth from my leap." Then Hanumana departed, and within a minute he arrived at the mighty Mahendra hill, which would serve as the support for his monumental leap. Page 269, Sundarakanda. The virtuous Hanumana first offered his obeisances unto Surya, Indra, Vayu and Brahma at the foot of Mount Mahendra. Then, after climbing to its peak, he expanded his body to gigantic proportions. By grabbing the mountain with his hands and feet, he inadvertently crushed many deer underfoot. Hanumana paused for several moments and composed his mind in preparation for the great leap. Because of the weight of his huge body, the entire mountain began to shake. Large snakes vomited fire upon their mountains from their mouth and bit into the rocks, and causing them to spit into thousands of flaming fragments. The Vidyadharas flew up in the sky to witness Hanuman's spectacular jump. Hanumana crouched down, summoning all his energy, and as the mountain peak began to crumble, spots of water gushed forth from the immense pressure. Gandharva couples that had been sporting in the heavenly region, along with numerous rishis that resided there, quickly fled the mountain out of fear. Hanumana then declared to the monkeys, "Either I shall bring back Sita, or I shall uproot the entire city of Lanka along with Ravana." Hanumana drew in his breath and tensed his muscles. Suddenly he sprung into the air like an arrow shot from the bow of Lord Rama. Due to the force of Hanumana's jump, all the trees of the peak of Mount Mahendra were uprooted and thrown into the sky. Hanumana soared like a huge sky and stretched out his tail. As Hanumana sailed through the heavens, the uprooted trees followed in his wake and plummeted into the ocean. Colored flowers from their branches fluttered down and scattered over the surface of the water, creating a beautiful sight. The hurricane created by Hanuman's flight agitated the ocean, creating waves as tall as mountains that crashed against his breast. The shadow of Hanumana projected upon the surface of the water measured 80 by 240 miles, and the suction created as he passed through the air drew the surrounding clouds to him. Hanumana resembled the moon as he became hidden in the masses of cloud and visible again as he emerged from them. Out of parental affection, Vayu blew cooling breezes, keeping the sunshine from scorching him. As Hanumana soared through the sky, all classes of beings applauded him. The ocean deity also desired to assist him. Out of respect for Lord Rama, he felt obliged to help, since Lord Rama had descended in the Ikshvaku dynasty and Rama's forefather, King Sagara, had extended the ocean's boundaries. Previously, Indra had placed the great Mainaka mountain in the middle of the ocean to obstruct the demons from traveling to the earth from the nether regions. The ocean now ordered Mainaka to rise up out of the water, hoping to assist Hanumana by providing him with a resting place. However, when Hanumana saw the great mountain peak emerging from the sky, he considered it to be an impediment and knocked it down with his chest. Appreciating Hanumana's prowess, Mainaka took a human form and stood on his own summit. He said, "O son of Vayu, You may rest a while on my peak and then continue your journey. Please accept this humble service, for I desire to worship your father by offering you this assistance. In the Satyuga, all mountains had wings and we flew through the sky like so many Garudas. However, the demigods and rishis became fearful at the possibility of our falling to the ground and smashing everything. Finally, in a fit of anger, Indra took up his thunderbolt and proceeded to cut off the wings of many thousands of mountains. Indra likewise attacked me, but why you came to my rescue by forcibly casting me into the ocean. Thus my wings were spared. Now to repay that favor to your father, I request you, stop a while and accept my hospitality. Page 272. Hanumana replied, please excuse me, for I cannot dare stop. I promised the other monkeys that I would not tarry on my journey. Tarry means stop. My time is short. Hanumana touched the top of Menaka mountain as a token of respect and then soared upward, continuing his flight. Being pleased, Indra came forward and told Menaka, there is no more need of you to be afraid of my thunderbolt. You may keep your wings and travel as you wish. Meanwhile, the celestial rishis, demigods and Gandharvas approached Surasa, the mother of the Nagas, requesting, we would like to ascertain the real strength of Hanuman. Thus, we wish you to assume the form of a huge Rakshasi and try to impede him. Either Hanuman will quickly defeat you, or he will give way to despondency. Taking the form of a huge disfigured Rakshasi as large as a mountain, Surasa suddenly emerged from the mountain, blocking Hanuman's path. She announced, by the benediction of Lord Brahma, it has been ordained that I can eat whatever food comes before me. Oh, best of the monkeys, by the will of Providence, you have crossed my path. Now I invite you to enter my gaping mouth. Hanumana replied, I am trying to serve Lord Rama by locating his kidnapped wife Sita, and you should assist me. However, if you are determined to devour me instead, then after finding Sita and reporting back to Rama, I shall return here and enter your mouth without fail. Sursa retorted, impudent one, because of Lord Brahma's benediction, you'll be forced to enter my mouth now. And then Surasa opened her mouth 10 yojanas wide to block Hanuman's path. Then Hanuman expanded his body to 10 yojanas and challenged, you'll have to enlarge your mouth more if you want me to enter it. Surasa then expanded her mouth to 20 yojanas, and the infuriated Hanuman expanded to 30 yojanas. Surasa countered by making her mouth 40 yojanas, and in response Hanuman expanded himself to 50 yojanas. Surasa then expanded her mouth to 60 yojanas, and Hanuman enlarged himself to 70. She then expanded herself to 80 yojanas, and Hanuman grew to 90. Countering this, Surasa expanded her mouth to a gaping 100 yojanas wide. Then in the twinkling of an eye, Hanuman shrank to the size of a thumb and quickly darted in and out of her mouth, saying, oh, daughter of Daksha, the condition of your benediction has now been fulfilled, and I shall continue on my journey. Bye. Surasa was delighted with Hanuman's clever victory. She then appeared before him in her original form, saying, well done, O foremost of monkeys. Go now and accompany your mission. May you soon unite Sita and Lord Rama. Hanumana continued on his way, soaring through the sky. Suddenly, a Rakshasi woman named Simika grabbed onto his shadow. Unaware of what had happened, Hanumana first thought he was losing his strength. However, upon looking around, he saw a huge ghastly creature emerging from the sea. As Simika rushed towards Hanuman, her mouth opened wide. Hanumana began to expand his body. However, the sharp-witted Hanumana realized that the Honrashi Rakshasi's mouth was still large enough to swallow him. Thus, reversing his previous strategy, Hanuman suddenly shrank himself to tiny proportions. He then entered the Rakshasi's mouth and plunged into her hideous body. Using his sharp claws, Hanuman proceeded to tear the Rakshasi's heart to pieces. Then he came out of her body and resumed his expanded size. As Simika fell down dead into the water, the Siddhas, Charanas, and Vidyadhars glorified Hanuman for his victory. Soon thereafter, the beaches and forests on the distant shore of Lanka came into view. Thinking the Rakshasas would spot him, Hanumana resumed his normal size and landed on a crag of Trikuta, the main mountain on the island of Lanka. Even after his jump of 100 yojanas, Hanumana did not feel even slightly tired. Gazing upward, he beheld the wonderful city of Lanka, perched atop the Trikuta mountain, surrounded by moats filled with lotus flowers. The city was encircled by a high golden wall that was heavily guarded by fierce Rakshasas. As Hanumana approached the northern gate of Lanka, he saw towering white palaces and broad avenues adorned with golden arches, all crowded with innumerable fierce, ugly Rakshasas, armed with all manner of weapons and able to change their forms at will. Hanumana thought to himself, this city appears to be unconquerable, even by the demigods. What to speak of an army of monkeys? How can Rama hope to vanquish the Rakshasas, since only myself, Sugriva, Nila, and Angada can cross the ocean to come here? Regardless, my first duty is to find out if Sita is still alive. I must carefully consider how I can meet her, for incompetent messengers sometimes spoil even the best plans. The guards appear to be extremely vigilant. Therefore, I cannot try to enter in my natural form. It appears that not even the wind could enter Lanka undetected. I must assume some inconspicuous guise and enter the city at night. Hanuman eagerly waited for the sun to set, and it finally grew dark. He became as small as a cat and entered Lanka by jumping over the high wall. Hanumana saw that the city was beyond his imagination, full of 7- and 8-story palaces that were lavishly adorned with golds and jewels. The entire city was filled with magnificent houses, with windows of diamond-studded lattice. Indeed, inside were beautiful women, and the sounds of laughter and sweet music could be heard. Throughout the city, Rakshasa Brahmanas chanted Vedic hymns, praying for Ravana's protection. The moon then rose above the horizon, thus helping Hanumana by spreading its silvery illumination. At that time, Lanka, personified in the form of a hideous Rakshasi woman, came before Hanumana challenging, how have you entered this city unchecked? What is a monkey like you doing in the kingdom of the Rakshasas? Hanumana responded, I will only answer your question after you tell me who you are. The Rakshasi then angrily replied, I am the presiding deity of Lanka. I carefully guard the city on behalf of Ravana. Because you have entered here without permission, you shall meet your death today by my hands. Hanumana said, I have come here to take a tour of the city for a desire to see all the magnificent gardens and palaces. Lanka differently replied, this city is inhabited only by Rakshasas. No stray monkeys are allowed to roam the streets. If you want to view the opulence of Lanka, you will have to kill me first. To this, Hanumana declared, I will look at the city as much as I like and depart the same way as I entered. The enraged Lanka shouted, you will not, and struck Hanuman with the palm of her left hand. Hanuman roared loudly with indignation and struck Lanka with his left fist, although not violently, because she was a woman. Lanka fell to the ground, moaning in pain, begging, please spare me, for a true hero will never strike a woman. Once long ago, Lord Brahma told me, when you are overpowered by a monkey, the destruction of your city and all the Rakshasas is imminent. I therefore admit defeat, for I can understand that Ravana's death is at hand. Oh monkey, you have permission to enter Lanka. Hanumana quickly traversed the entire city, jumping from one rooftop to the next. He detected many spies in various disguises. He also saw an army of 100,000 Rakshasas protecting Ravana's palace, which was completely encircled by thick walls made of gold. As Hanuman searched for Sita throughout Lanka, he beheld great palaces with jewel-inlaid doors. The walls within were dust-free and as clear as crystal. The floors were laid out in fascinating designs. Filigree stairways inlaid with gold and silver led to balconies, and above them were magnificent domes and ceilings. Musical instruments played as the wives of the Rakshasas came and reclined in the arms of their amorous husband. As he entered one residence after another, Hanumana saw lovers caressing each other, while other women applied sandalwood paste to their bodies. Here, someone slept, there someone laughed, while others engaged in the affairs of love-making. Someone was sprawled out naked, some having been left aside by a husband, and someone else decorated with flowers and ornament was just welcoming a lover. In this way, Hanuman observed thousands of beautiful women with moon-like faces, their lotus-petal eyes casting sidelong glances that beguiled the hearts of their loved ones. However, as there was no trace of Sita, Hanuman became somewhat disheartened. Hanumana decided to search throughout the palaces belonging to Ravana's relatives and consorts. From a distance, these residences appeared to be like enormous cluster of monsoon clouds, illuminated by streaks of lightning. After searching through many wonderful opulent homes, Hanumana entered the palace of Ravana, which was filled with beautiful women and the sound of tinkling ornaments. Indeed, Hanumana felt as though he were being carried across the sky in a celestial chariot pulled by a white swan. The interior of Ravana's palace was a ravishing paradise, and with wish-fulfilling trees surrounded by jewel-like flowers. While roaming about, Hanumana saw many pleasure rooms, their floors wet from wine and liquor. There were rooms filled with all variety of weapons, and rooms filled with treasure. However, to Hanuman's disappointment, Sita was nowhere to be seen. But he had not yet searched Ravana's personal quarters, which alone were 4 miles wide and 8 miles long. As Hanuman wandered through Ravana's vast domain, he considered how to enter the apartments. Page 278. Finally, he came to the room where Pushpak chariot was being kept. This chariot was originally built by Vishwakarma for Lord Brahma and could traverse the sky simply by following the mental indication of the driver. The Pushpak chariot hovered above the floor and was adorned with birds made from jewels that flapped their wings mechanically, and with snakes made of silver and gold. Indeed, inside were artificial elephants with shapely trunks that showered scented water upon a carved statue of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, who stood elegantly within a pool of water, a lotus flower inserted in each of her 4 lovely hands. The Pushpak chariot appeared like a large floating hill and was fitted with stairways of gold, white crystal floors, and balconies made from sapphires. To get a good look at Ravana's inner apartments, Hanuman jumped up into the Pushpak chariot, and from that vantage point he could see a great hall with a crystal floor that was inlaid with pearls, diamonds, and gold, and covered by a great carpet having the geography of the earth, with all its mountains and seas as its design. Stairways made of gems led to the upper levels, and everything was softly illuminated by golden lamps whose light reflected upon countless valuable jewels. Everything about this spectacular hall was gratifying to the 5 senses. Thus, Hanuman began to wonder, where am I? Is this heaven? This could well be the supreme realm of Lord Brahma. Upon entering the inner quarters, Hanuman saw thousands of beautifully colorful dressed women sprawled upon the expansive carpet. With half of the night gone, they were fast asleep. Under the influence of intoxicating wines and the exhaustions from their amorous revels, the women's bejeweled bracelets, belts, and ankle belts were now silent, although sparkling, and thus appeared like lotus lakes, serene with silent swans and sleeping beings. Hanuman gazed upon the ladies who lay with eyes closed and lips tightly shut, like fragrant lotuses that close their petals upon the arrival of evening. In this stupor, the ladies' hair had become disheveled and their jewels scattered. While dancing and drinking, their ankle bracelets had been misplaced, their marks of tilaka erased, and their necklaces broken, their belts were loosened, their dresses wrinkled, and their garlands torn and trampled. They appeared like flower creepers that had been crushed by elephants. Some of the ladies slept, using their bracelet-adorned arms as pillows, while others responded to the breasts of their co-wives. Still others rested their heads upon another's lap, stomachs, or buttocks. Still others, captured in love's intoxication, relaxed with arms interclasped, embracing each other as they slept. Seeing this scene, Hanuman wondered, whose limbs are those? Whose garlands? Whose clothes? Whose ornaments? Indeed, the consorts of Ravana were so intimately united in sleep that it was difficult to tell who was who, but not whom they served. Under the influence of lust, innumerable daughters of King Brahmanas, Daityas and Gandharvas had become the wives of Ravana. Ravana had kidnapped some of them after defeating their relatives, but all had accepted them willingly under the infatuation of desire. None were low-born, ugly, crude or stupid, and none were neglected by Ravana, the lord of Lanka. In the mist, Hanumana saw Ravana lying asleep upon an elegant silken couch placed atop a crystal dais and covered with a white canopy that was decorated with flowers. Ravana was seen to have one head and 2 arms, for it was only in battle that is assumed his gigantic form with 10 heads and 20 arms. Hanumana also noticed the numerous wounds upon Ravana's body, coming from such illustrious weapons as King Indra's thunderbolt, Airava's tusk, and Lord Vishnu's chakra. Ravana's dark-complexioned body was smeared with sandalwood paste. His earrings flashed like fire as he lay exhausted upon a night of feasting, drinking, and erotic enjoyment. Hanumana stared at Ravana respectfully, recoiling slightly in awe of his powerful, majestic appearance. Then Hanumana again turned his attention to Ravana's consorts, who surrounded him like so many glittering stars circling the full moon. Several were sleeping in the arms of the beloved Lord, while others caressed the musical instruments they had played earlier in the evening. Like a lotus clinging to a floating tree branch in midstream, one slender-waisted beauty embraced her veena, another beheld a drum in her lap as if it were an infant child, another full-breasted lady hugged her tambourine tightly as though it was her lover that had returned from a long absence. Lying a bit apart from the rest of the women on a lavishly decorated couch was a fair-complexioned Mandodari, Ravana's favorite queen. When Ravana saw how young, beautiful, dignified she appeared, he thought, this must be Sita. We're on page 80, 280. And I think we can end now, and Kolvadi Prabhu is here. So, please pardon me to break this, but I leave you in better hands. Please pardon all my mistakes, and let Ramayana continue. Bol Shri Ramchandra ki Jai. Hare Krishna.